All right, so because Samter thought I missed the news, as a good producer would do, because he knew I was playing golf with generally, he starts hitting me up about Josh. I'm like, I got it. And I could tell right away, Josh Allen, of course, huge monster deal, $258 million, 6 years with the Buffalo Bills, $150 million guaranteed. Now, knowing Samter the way I know him, because I've worked with him for a long time, I could just tell, like I could tell with my wife, like I could tell with Tiki, like I could tell with my parents, my best friends, my children, obviously. Through inflection, you can kind of deduce just the way it's being delivered. I can tell right away that I think that Samter thinks it's a bit too much and borderline irresponsible before he even told me anything. Now, Mike, I just spoke about my marriage. We have a different kind of marriage here at the show. Am I wrong? Just in the little subtle communication from you to me, we did our earlier communication early in the morning before I went, but with the golf, the Josh Allen stuff, am I right or wrong? This guy's complaining about Stu Getz. He thinks it's a bad deal.
I'm not necessarily saying it is a bad deal, but with 2 years left on your contract, for a guy who's had one great season in the NFL, it just feels like a monster risk. Like when Mahomes got his contract, you're like, dude, this guy's going to be one of the, if not the greatest quarterback of all time. There was a certainty around Patrick Mahomes. Even Deshaun Watson, he had 3 or 4 really good seasons before they gave him his deal. I'm not saying Josh Allen isn't going to be the guy. But with a salary cap of $182 million.
That's going up by about $25 million next year.
Sure. So he's getting an average of $43 million. He's getting somewhere between 20 and 25% of the salary cap going to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback. He has a chance to
No, well, first of all, he was almost an MVP quarterback.
Sure.
I mean, to say good, that is not...
So was Carson Wentz before he tore his ACL.
I got you.
I'm not saying he's Carson Wentz. All I'm saying is I just need a little bit more before I make that kind of decision. Lamar Jackson is an MVP quarterback. Say what you will about his downfall. He has rushed for over 1,000 yards 2 straight seasons. I would feel more confident right now. After what I've seen, giving Lamar that kind of money.
I didn't know you were going to go there. That just changes. You are out of your mind.
If you give me one more season of Josh Allen, 1 year does not give me the confidence to give a guy $250-some-odd million.
Okay.
Especially in a league like the NFL where anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Now, by the way, just let's not let facts get in the way of, Samter's point and shaping the narrative the way he wants to shape it. Lamar Jackson regressed a year ago. Just to be throwing the football, every measurement points to the fact that there was, and I don't mean just slight regression, there was borderline alarming regression. Now, but forget about Lamar, because I can actually incorporate that all into why I love this. Now, the only reason I would be very reticent to give a young quarterback who popped, and Mike's not wrong when he says, the first year, we know what he did first year, 52%, and then year 2 was much better, year 3 was unbelievable. I get it, which, by the way, is kind of the trajectory of how quarterbacks used to be. Mahomes distorted how we view these young players because he was so great and so brilliant from moment one. This is more the way it's supposed to be, so that doesn't alarm me. Why I would be hesitant to do this is a couple of reasons. Number one, if I'm physically not sure that the player has the toolbox to back it up. I'll give you a couple examples. Alex Smith, good player. And by the way, Alex Smith is going to be a great broadcaster. I think he's going to be a great broadcaster. A couple of Pro Bowls, I get it. But Alex Smith never had elite arm talent. A couple of really good years. But if like Alex Smith got this kind of a deal, or at the point when he was playing, which would have been commensurate, you're not going to get $258 million. You know what I mean? Or somebody like Kirk Cousins, 30 plus. I questioned it from minute one, and we'll get to Kirk Cousins later in the show. I'll take you back even further. Our boy, Chad Pennington. I love Chad Pennington. He had a noodle for an arm. Had a couple of really good years. Wasn't a very good athlete. Put it through a keyhole, but had one of the worst arms in the NFL, but he was brilliant. So he put the ball in the right place on time, and he was smart. So from an anticipatory point of view, he was elite. If I'm not sure that you're physically the guy, I cannot bestow that kind of responsibility on you. Josh Allen is 6'5", 240, has the best arm in the entire NFL, can throw it out of a stadium, runs a 4.6 40, has 28 rushing touchdowns in 3 years. Absolute physical superstar. That doesn't apply. Number two, if you have iffy character, certainly doesn't apply. If you have injury history, certainly does not apply. And obviously, if you have, well, this kind of ties into character, legal issues, then, it's a different problem. Now, Samter said that he would actually give this kind of money to Lamar Jackson before he would give it to Josh Allen. Now, I hate to even say this because I always feel, I don't like saying these things, but I've got to say it to prove my point. And I'll just say somebody. Somebody ruptures an Achilles. Somebody's knee explodes. Like Burrow, like Garoppolo, like Brady back in the latest 2000s, right? Even if that were to happen to Josh Allen, he's coming back still with a rifle. He's still going to be 6'5", and he's still going to be 240. If that happens to Lamar, he might be RG3. Okay, so that's the difference. So when you start to look at, boy, oh boy, man, that's a big nut, man, and I know it's 22, 20 for now. And by the way, I'm sure as you get deep into the deal, Bills are a smarter organization now. They weren't for a long time, but now they have been. So that Bean is going to structure this properly. And it's not going to always equate to 22, 23, 24% of the salary cap. So, and there are guys, and I just mentioned three of them, Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins, and Chad Pennington. There are players, right, who put up borderline all-pro and absolute Pro Bowl seasons, and you say, yeah, but a little bit of a weak schedule. Yeah, but he's got optimal conditions, one of the best O-lines in football. Yeah, but, he doesn't really have a great arm, and if the running game evaporates, the play action isn't quite as believable, and he doesn't have that arm to whistle through two defenders. Yeah, but he's more speed than zip, and as he gets older, even as he gets hurt, as he gets older, Josh Allen, you're out of your mind, Samter. Josh Allen is worth every single penny. Every penny. Brilliant move by the Bills. Now, I hate that I'm going to have to face this guy for the next 10, 12, 14, 15 years. But big picture, I'm about the league. Yeah, on Sundays at 1 Eastern, you know who I'm rooting for. But in totality, what I do for a living, what we talk about every day, I'm what's good for the league. And I'm what's good for good players and good people and great cities. This guy is central casting from Buffalo. Home run. Mike, I got news for you, by the way. If it equates to $43 million on the AAV. And just give you a little number here. Mahomes is 45, number one. Allen now ascends to number two. Prescott's $40 million, number three. Watson is number four, $39 million per season. And Russell Wilson is 35. So let's take Dak Prescott for a moment. And I love Dak. I love his character, and I like his game. I love Josh Allen's game. I like Dak's. There's a little difference there, a little difference. Who would you rather have? Would you really rather have Dak over Josh Allen?
No, and that's my point also. I think that Dak took too much also. My big point is...
Okay, interesting. Go ahead.
Unless you're Patrick Mahomes, unless you are a potential all-time great, and listen, Josh Allen, you're right, has the tools that maybe he could be in that conversation. But unless you're certain that a guy is going to be on a conversation of all-time greatness, to give him 25%, 20% of your salary cap is irresponsible to me. I look at Tom Brady. The reason why they built a dynasty in New England was because Tom Brady, year after year after year after year after year, took below market rate value for his contracts. He was allowing his team to build and bring other players in around him and help build a solid roster. And for 20 years, they were dominant. Patrick Mahomes is getting paid a lot of money, but it's all front-loaded on a long-term 10-year contract.
Yep, we've talked about that.
And the back end is going to give them a lot of relief to be able to sign and build guys around him.
How do we know the Bills don't have the same thing? We don't know the exact parameters of the contract. There's no way they're going to do something dumb after knowing the model that Mahomes has created.
100%, but Patrick Mahomes is, and again, I'm not saying I don't like Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes is on a different level than Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a Pro Bowl caliber.
Not by much, dude.
I disagree. I think Patrick Mahomes is top 5 potential all-time great. Josh Allen, maybe potential Hall of Famer at his very peak. But that's it. I'm looking at all-time great, GOAT status level type player.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to argue that.
Potential Hall of Famer. So to say that he's not that much better, I disagree.
Well, but think about this. Now we're playing the semantics game. Well, I guess the answer is actually, to be fair to you, the answer could be yes. I'll ask it anyway. can two, and I know the answer, I'm asking rhetorically, but can two Hall of Famers be split by that wide of a margin? And the answer is obviously yes. Because you look at Magic Johnson, and then you look at or Bird or Jordan or whomever, and yeah, there are guys. I get it. So there can be that disparity. I just view Josh Allen as, like, put it this way, Mike. If we were doing the show today, and you texted me that Lamar Jackson got this contract, my entire tone would be different. Not that I would begrudge him for getting the money. Not that I wouldn't be happy. But again, if his knee goes out, if he ruptures his Achilles, he is nowhere near the same player. If that happens to Josh Allen, the ability to retain what he has now that earned him this contract is still there and will be there. Love it. I love Josh Allen. Love him.